Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. In last video, we have discussed about gymnosperms. In this video, we are going to discuss about angiosperms. So let us enter into the topic. What is meant by angiosperms? Angiosperms are commonly called as flowering plants. So in gymnosperms, ovules are naked in condition, whereas in angiosperms, ovules are enclosed by or covered or inside the ovary of the gynoecium. What is meant by gynoecium? So gynoecium is a female gamete which is present in the angiosperms. So the pollen grains and ovules are developed in a specialized structure together called as flower. So flower is nothing but a reproductive organ. Why I am using this as a reproductive organ? Because female gamete ovule and male gamete pollen grains are developed as a specialized structure where the fertilization takes place. That's why I am saying this is a reproductive organ. So in angiosperm, seeds are enclosed in fruits. So which means seeds are covered in fruits. So this is I will give you an example. There are the few fruits which seeds are present inside, and the remaining fruit are covered through seeds. Means you can see the guava or anything like that. You may observe. So angiosperms are embryophytic, non-archegonatic, vascular, fruit-bearing phanerogams. So here guys, embryophyte means which I have told you from beginning topics. What is meant by embryo? Where embryo is formed from a zygote through metatically is said to be embryophytic. What is non-archegonatic? So guys, firstly know about archegonatic. Archegonatic is nothing but a female gamete, whereas they will present in bryophytes, pteridophytes and gymnosperms, whereas not present in an angiosperm. That's why it is a non-archegonatic. In place of archegonium guys, gynoecium is present. That's why it is a non-archegonatic. Okay, I hope you understand. So vascular means if presence of vascular tissue is called as vascular. So fruit bearing phanerogams. What is meant by fruit bearing phanerogams? Which consists of a fruit. Phanerogams is a flowering plants. Then it's said to be a fruit bearing phanerogams or spermatophyte. So what is meant by spermatophyte? Which consists of a seed. Okay, I hope you understand this whole concept. So angiosperms are exceptionally larger group of plant occurring. So this mostly larger group of the plants occurring. So this is in a wide range of habitat. So okay guys, so here it is guys, the range in the size from tiny almost to tall trees over 100 meters. So these are the great variation or differences. Means it consists of very small or small plants and to very long plants. So this is all comes under angiosperms. The microscopic microscopic to example for that is Wolffia, and tall tree example for eucalyptus. So you have to remember guys, eucalyptus is example for angiosperms, so not a gymnosperms. So they provide us with the food, fodder and fuel, medicines, several other commercial importance. Commercial importance means for commercial sake, for money sake also you can call us. So products to meet our daily life means we are using these all angiosperms in our daily lives. So root system of these plants is a taproot or adventitious root. What is meant by taproot? The main. So what is meant by taproot and adventitious root? So taproot is nothing but a elongated radical consists of secondary roots together are constitutively called as taproot. And what is meant by adventitious roots? Adventitious roots, all roots arise from a single point or arise from a same point is said to be adventitious roots. So guys, all monocotyledon roots are said to be, monocotyledon plants are said to be or shows adventitious types of root. Whereas in dicots, they shows taproot system. The main conducting elements of the angiosperms are vessels, xylem, and phloem constitutes of companion shells. So here guys, they develop flowers with a usually consciousness of perianth. Perianth is a covering to that. So male sex organs in a flower are stamens. So stamens is a gametophyte. Each stamen consists of a slender filament with an anther at a tip. Means anther is present in the tip of the stamen. In the anthers, microscopic mother cells undergoes meiosis. Guys, remember here, if meiosis will take place, from one parent it will comes, 4 daughter will come or arise. If mitotic will arise from 1 to 1, it is an ratio. Just remember here, I will explain in the further chapter which is in a cell division topic. So here it is. So and produce of pollen grains. Female sex organ in a flower is a pistil or a carpel. Pistil consists of an ovary enclosing one to many ovule. I have told you earlier guys, ovary enclosed the ovules, but here one to many. It may be have one ovule or many. It depends upon the species. So within ovule, a megaspore mother cell undergoes meiosis and produces 4 megaspore. I have told you what is meiosis. We'll see you in the detail in the next topic. Usually one megaspore develops into a highly reduced female gamete termed as embryo sac. So this is each of the cell of embryo sac is a haploid. I have told you if a meiosis will happen, 2n which is a diploid will split or passes next generation in the haploid condition. So meiosis is just nothing but a decreasing acts as to decrease in condition. Means if it is in 2n condition which is in a diploid condition, if meiosis will takes place, 4 haploid gametes will form. Means 4n will form. So this nn means haploid. If a male gamete, if in a embryo sac or embryophyte, which is a female gamete, if it takes place, and female will release 1 haploid gamete, and whereas in male release 1 haploid gamete. So guys, then there 2 fuses to form a diploid plant or diploid things. So I will give with a human example. If a father or a parent, if there is a 2 parents, mother and father, if mother already mother is in 2n condition, means she is in diploid condition. So after our gamete, meiosis will take place in a gametophyte, and she release a n condition of haploid gamete, which is a ova. So male gamete or father will release 1n which is in a haploid condition. They together form or combined to form a diploid gametophyte or diploid. Here it is a diagrammatical representation of a mature embryo sac. So in mature embryo sac, antipodals are present at these are the 3 in number, polar nucleus are 2 in number, and a central cell it is. So this is in synergens. There is a 2 synergens, and female filiform apertures arises here, where pollen grains will take through this filiform firstly, enter into synergens. The fertilization will it comes into here, and 1 pollen grains reaches here, and another 2 are fertilized here, and 1 enters into or fertilized into eggs. This is about a fertilization process. I will explain you further, but let us have a look and try to understand what is antipodals and what is polar nuclei, what is central cells and eggs and synergens and filiform. This is a diagrammatical representation. So here it is guys, all cells of embryo sacs are in haploid version. I have shown you embryo sac right now because it is useful for the further concept. So each embryo sac has 3-celled egg apertures, consists of 1 egg cell with 2 synergens and 3 antipodals and 2 polar nuclei, which I have shown you in a diagrammatically. So polar nuclei eventually fuses with to produce a diploid secondary nucleus. So let us enter into the pollen grains. So guys, pollen grains are generally present within the anther, which is a male gametophyte, or carried by anemophilus, means through wind. After dispersal, means after detached from the anther, which is from a male gametophyte. So male gametes are released from the male gametophyte, right? So it is commonly by wind or water or various other agents like animals or zoophily. So if they are carried through animals, is said to be zoophily. If it is carried by water, is said to be hydrophilus. If it is carried by wind, it's said to be anemophily. So after dispersal, pollen grains reaches to the stigma of a pistil, right? So this is termed as a pollination. Unlike in gymnosperms, here transfer of pollen gas to ovules in the ovary, not direct. In gymnosperms, it is a direct pollination takes place in a direct, but here in angiosperms it's not in a direct in condition, that's why it is an indirect. The pollen gets generated on the stigma and result in the pollen tube and grows through the stigma and style reaches the ovule. So guys, I will show you a diagrammatical representation how it is going to be. So here guys, it is diagrammatical representation of LS flower. So firstly, flower is a reproductive organ, I have told you earlier. Here anther is present and stigma is present. Stigma is an opening to the entry to the female gametophyte. Or style, filaments and sepal and ovary, these are the positions where it is. The male stigma after dispersal, this is anthers, right? Anthers I will show you. This is anther. This is take one. It shows like this. So if you transactionally means in a typical stamen, it is a typical stamen. It is a three-dimensional of the species of anther. If you cut like this in a LS model, you will get a pollen grains. So these pollen grains, which is dispersal from this anther, so will reach as the stigma, and through stigma it enters into the ovule. Okay. Right now I think you got from there the actual fertilization will occur. So here it is, pollen grains after dispersal anther are carried by water, and these are I have told you earlier. The transfer of pollen grain to ovule and the ovary, it is not directly, hence it is called indirect pollination. The pollen grain generates on the stigma and result in the pollen tube, grows through that stigma through a style, and I have told you all in a detailed manner right now. So let us starts from here. One of the male gamete fuses with a female gamete from a zygote called syngamy. This type of fusion is called as syngamy. So other male gamete fuses with the diploid secondary nucleus to produce a triploid primary endosperm nucleus, which is a pan called as triple fusion. Because of involvement of these two fusions is termed or said to be a double fusion. And here it is, the event is termed as a double fertilization and unique to the angiosperms. Means a double fertilization will occur only in the angiosperms, whereas not in a pteridophytes, not in a baridophytes, and not in also gymnosperms. So the fertilization is a siphonogamous oogamy, where the male gametes are motile in condition, female gamete is non-motile. That condition is said to be a siphonogamous oogamy. The zygote develops into embryo with one or two cotyledon. So pan, which is I have told you, develops into endosperms which produce nourishment to the developing embryo. Synergids and antipodals degenerate after fertilization. During these events, ovules develops into seeds and ovaries into fruits. So there is no need to explain here the point. Based on the cotyledons in the seeds, angiosperms are further divided into two classes, dicotyledon and monocotyledon. Dicotyledon means having two cotyledons, monocotyledon means having only one cotyledon of the seeds. This is all about today's class, boys and guys. See you in the next video. Hope you liked the video. If you like the video, please like and share and do subscribe.